Okay, here's the video you want. No thinking about technique, no changes to be made, just how to practice your tennis serve. Practice. We're talking about practice. Now, I know it seems like I'm really big on technique, but that's just because nobody gets it right from the beginning. Nobody takes the time to learn to stroke the right way. And the biggest gains in your game are going to come from learning the right stroke. It's more process oriented, not outcome oriented. So before we get into this video, I'll just say this. If you don't feel like on your second serve, you can swing very, very fast and make the ball go in, you probably still need to learn about arm action and how to impart forward rotation on your serve. I'm going to put a video in the description, a way for you to work on that right at home. Coach Jeff, you're making me think too much. Well, whose fault is that? Anyways, for the handful of you that do need to see this video, let's start with this. The first thing you need to do is determine if your practice is a reaching practice or performance practice. Reaching in athletics is where you try to go outside of yourself and do something a little harder than you might normally do. You're going to make more errors. A performance practice is when maybe you have a tournament coming up that weekend or very shortly and you're just trying to optimize what you have best to your game. So for example, when working on your wide serve, this might be your reaching target where you're trying to hit a little wider, which is going to take a little bit more precision, or this would be your performing target. This is the wide serve you know you can make, and you're going to go out and just consistently make sure you're performing in this general area. Now, cones are convenient and easy to use, but it's kind of dangerous to ever think of your target as being that small. One, you'll have a tendency to put it too close to the line, and you don't really want to do that. But the other thing, when you think of your targets as small and guiding to it, you'll have more of a tendency to want to open up and look at the target. The trick with practicing your serve is you're blind to your target. You got to visualize the trajectory of the ball to the cone, try to hit it, but understand that you're not really looking at your target. You kind of got to just visualize and hope it goes there. Was I close? So we have our T target, our wide target, and our body target. One thing to keep in mind is that the body target is going to be slightly off-centered. Because of the trajectory, if you aim right for the middle of the box, you're going to have more of a tendency to just hit them a backhand. If you really want to body serve and jam the person, try to aim just off-center towards the middle, and then the trajectory of that ball is going to bring it into their body. So maybe just try to hit some cones nice and easy for a little bit until you feel your arm's pretty warm. But then you really want to try to define, am I trying to go for first serves or am I trying to hit my second serve? And before you do that, I highly recommend you do this no matter how simple it might sound. You should have a pen and paper out on the court with you, and you should be charting your first serve percentage. You need to find out what is your first serve on that particular day. Now, if you've been subscribed to the YouTube channel for any length of time, you kind of know that although we have to define a first and second serve, that it's really a gray area in between those two. Basically, you want your first serve to go in about 75% of the time, or you want your consistency to be around 75%. Now, consistency comes from three variables: spin, speed, and target. If you add more spin, give yourself a bigger target, and hit a little softer, you're going to be much more consistent. If you get out there with a pen and paper, what you'll find is, one, you become more aware of what your first serve percentage is. Where lots of people go through a whole match and don't realize that they're missing all their first serves. But the other thing it'll make you realize is that you really have to balance these variables depending on how you're feeling that day to get that serve percentage where it needs to be. Maybe you're feeling great and you're on fire that day and you're like, man, I can just go hard and flat. Maybe you're feeling just a little bit off that day and you're noticing you're not making a lot of first serves, and you're going to say, okay, I'm just going to put a touch of spin on this to make myself a little more consistent. Your dog just died last night. You feel horrible. You're not able to focus. I'm going to take a little off it and add a lot of spin to this first serve. And I would use those three targets, the wide serve, body serve, T serve, to really work on your first serve percentage and gather as much data as you can. See if your first serve percentage rate goes up to certain targets. You should find that it does. Now, when it comes to your second serve, even at pro level tennis, we really don't see targets become much smaller than this. Oh! But they still hit the crap out of them, and that comes from understanding what we talked about at the beginning of the video: arm action creating forward rotation, which is really how you should be first learning the serve. If you didn't, be sure to check out my Tennis Serve Fundamentals course. It comes with a free analysis. It's an amazing value. Visit the link. I'll see you on the inside of that course. Now, before we get to the last tip to train your tennis serve, if you're enjoying this type of content, please like the video. It really helps me out. And also, Comment your thoughts so far. Is this how you've been practicing your serve? Do you disagree? Do you agree with anything in the video? All right, let's get back to it. Now, because you're going to spend so much time practicing this shot, it's the most important shot, you don't need anyone else to practice it, you can build the bad habit of not getting ready after you hit the serve. So I do think it's important to stay in character. Make sure after you hit a serve, practice keeping your balance and getting back behind or on the baseline as soon as you can. But don't recover too quick. Some people have a tendency to bend over as they hit the serve, either because they're scared to land over the line or they're just trying to recover too quick. Make sure you straighten your body out, hit the serve, and then practice regaining your balance and hopping back. Hey, thanks for watching the video. I'll see you next time.